so here we are. It's the third week of our movement meetup, and today I'm by myself. I don't have my daughter with me because I had to come here earlier for another meeting. So I hope everyone is doing well. All right, so what I was thinking we would do today is go through our warm-up for learning to get positive, active, clear, and energetic. And then I just wrote down a couple of things. I've been already on a meeting, and so my neck is sore, so I was thinking neck rolls might be good. And then from sitting so much, I was thinking of doing something for our low back as well. So if we start with getting ready for learning and for living and getting positive, active, clear, and energetic, the first thing is to sip water. So if you have some water handy, you want to take a quick sip of it. And then the next thing that we're going to do is get clear, and that activity is with brain buttons. So one hand is on your belly button, and your other hand is right under your collarbone. And you can either rub or hold those points, and if you're working with a little person, you can do these for the child, or you can do it for yourself and do it with them later. And then take your eyes and move them back and forth like you're reading a book. So we have a little one there, so I'm going to grab my puppet so that she has something to look at. So can you watch that? Look, he's an elephant. Can you watch the elephant? He goes back and forth. Oh, look at him. What sound does an elephant make? All right, and did everybody switch hands? Then we put our other hand on top? I don't remember which hand I had on top at first. And then we move our eyes. And then we want to get active. And so if we are a little person and if we're down on the floor, just crawl around on the floor. You can pretend to be a horse or a dog or an elephant, anything that has four legs. And those of us that are standing, we're going to do that standing. So we're just going to lift up one leg and our opposite arm and bring them together. Oh, I love it. Crawl all over the place. Keep going. Oh boy. And then when that feels complete, we want to end by getting positive. And so for this one, we cross our ankles. And then if you're little, you can just give yourself a nice warm hug. But if you're an adult, we're going to actually put our thumbs down and we're going to cross, clap, and go down and up. So this is also like a hug, but it's involving the fingers and the arms instead of just the arms. And breathe. This is one of the best activities you can do for your nervous system. So if you're watching the news or if you're scrolling on Facebook and reading articles and finding yourself going into a place of fear or stress, this is really good for our nervous system. It just kind of pulls everything into the middle. It helps to calm me down. That's what I notice, is I'll often take a big breath. All right, then the second part is to just touch our fingertips together. Where's your fingertips? Can you find them? Do, do, do. There we go. So I was thinking we would just do a couple of things today. Like I said, something for the neck and something for the low back. So for our neck, I was looking at my chart back here and thinking, wow, I could really use some neck rolls. When I sit on these phone calls, on these Zoom meetings and work, I often find my neck gets out of alignment and then I start to get a headache back here. So the neck rolls, what we're going to do is just drop our chin down and take a breath in and then peek up over one shoulder. So we're not going beyond the shoulder, we're just going to the collarbone. And then take a breath in. And let your head go down to the middle and all the way over to the other side. So your head is almost like a bowling ball, and it's just going to gently go from side to side. So if you have little children with you, you can be behind them and you can just do peekaboo with them and be on one side of them so they turn their head and then go to the other side. So it's like a peekaboo to get them to practice turning their head. And if you find a tight spot, you can always stop in that spot and just take a big breath and imagine your breath going to that point of tension and letting it dissolve, letting it go away. Yesterday, I was on a call with 34 international faculty for Brain Gym from 19 countries. And we were discussing how our necks and our bodies are getting so tight and that our eyes, we feel like we have to look at the camera, look at the screen all the time, but really, we could take breaks. We could allow our head to go down. I can still listen to what's going on in a meeting without looking at the screen the whole time. So to invite your eyes and your muscles to do something else and not be stuck in that over-focused place. So neck rolls, super simple, just dropping the head and going along each side. You will notice I did not go behind. So I didn't drop my head back. That's not really the best for your cervical vertebrae. So I was staying in the front. All right, the other one that I wanted to do, we did last night in a meeting, so I hope that's okay for my guest on here. But I wanted to do the grounder. And so with the grounder, you're going to put your two legs wider than your hips, and you're going to point 1 foot away. Now, when 1 foot is pointed away, that's the leg that you're going to bend. And you're not going to go beyond your toe. So when we do this, we want to keep the hips pointed forward. So I just noticed that I was cheating and turned my whole body. So I like to put my hands here to help me. So my hips stay forward while I bend my leg. Now, if you're doing this with your family, there might be some compensation that goes on that people will want to twist, because when I twist, I don't feel that stretch here. So when I keep myself straight and then I bend my leg, I feel a nice stretch going up my inner thigh. And this is working on that iliopsoas muscle system that tends to get really tight from sitting too much. So we inhale up, and then we exhale. And this activity is all about stability. So if you feel like you're really unstable right now, check out your knee and make sure that it's over your ankle and not tilted in. Because if we come in, then we will feel unstable. If we keep that knee over the ankle, it's often easier to keep this position. So we go up and down. And then before you do the other side, just check in on your two legs. And can you tell what you just did? A lot of times we're sitting during the day and we don't realize how tight we are until we take a break and work on one side of our body. And then the other side says, hey, what about me? This does hurt. This is tight. So let's go ahead and do the other side. And again, I'm going to remind myself to keep my hips facing forward. My body really likes to play with this one and cheat a little bit. So you can have your hands one on each hip, or you can have your hand on your belly button and your other hand behind you. We inhale up and we exhale while we go down. And we like to hold that for just a few seconds so that our muscles can get the message from the brain that it's okay to relax. It's okay to let go. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and do we feel supported? And this whole low back area, the sacrum, is all about support. Am I supported? Whether that's internally, whether it's with what I'm choosing to watch in the media, whether it's financially, how am I supported? So this can be really helpful in so many different ways. All right, so that took us from the top of the body and then down here to the low back. The other one that I was thinking would be really good is positive points. And I know that we did that last week, but as each week comes and goes, I know that there's people in my family that are struggling. And even for me, that there's moments that my attitude really tanks and it goes down. And so how can we support our emotional well-being during these times? And I think positive points is just so powerful. So all we do is hold above each eye, really lightly. So those of us with children at home yet, it's kind of when you're going to check to see if someone has a fever, that you're just putting your hand on their forehead. The only difference is we're putting both of our hands on our forehead. So this one we can hold as long as we need to. For some of us, it might just be 3 big breaths. For others, and for certain times, it might be for a couple of minutes, and that's okay. This is ones that I would do as, if I had a child that was crying or upset or having separation or just having a meltdown, that I would hold their forehead if they let me. And if they didn't let me, I would hold my own forehead. That's the mom. So really powerful ways that we can support our family systems during this time, that we can do things for ourselves and we can invite intentional movements with those that we love and those we're spending time with. And even from afar, we can share ideas using Zoom and other techniques. So once again, I thank you for joining me from Europe, Italy, and from down the road here in Anoka County of Minnesota.